People who were around in 1977 will always remember what they were doing when they first heard the terrible news.
Elvis Presley died today. He was 42. Apparently, it was a heart attack.
How could the king of rock and roll be dead at age 42?
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
In the months that followed, sordid details about his last days painted him as a drug-addled recluse, an image his team worked hard to rectify.
Oh, shut up.
Sadly, this would not be the last tragedy for the Presley family. That's this week on Death in Entertainment.
Elvis has left the building.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder,
Injury and death.
Oh my God!
Shocking new details
that has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway?
Death
In entertainment.
Hello, everybody.
Oh my God, we're here and we're back.
Episode 66. What is going on, everybody? My name is Kyle Plouffe.
My name is Mark Mulcairn.
And I'm Alejandro Dowling.
And we are covering the sordid story of Mr. Elvis Aaron Presley.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is a very sordid story.
Is he a monster?
Yeah.
Is he not?
Yeah. Is he a victim of fame
Yeah.
and fortune and drugs and prescription drugs?
And circumstance.
Yeah, in circumcision.
Hey.
Hey, was
But-
he circumcised? We'll see if Alejandro has that. That's a very important detail.
Yeah.
And we're also going to dive into the stories of his daughter and his grandson.
Yeah,
Ooh.
very current events with the daughter.
Extremely current.
Yeah,
There's breaking news from yesterday and today even.
I know. I'm sure there's. Did they do like an autopsy? Do they know? I don't want to get ahead of any of your research, so we'll just leave it at that for now.
And with that,
Ooh. This episode's going to take us to August 16th, 1977.
Let's go. Music is a very apropos subject.
Yes.
Since we're dealing with Elvis here in his passing, let's get the top 3 music songs at this time.
Yes.
We'll start with number 3. Number 3 is Rita Coolidge. Your love has lifted me higher and higher.
Is that higher and higher?
That's what I assume. I don't know.
a remake.
Oh.
Oh,
I
higher
believe.
and higher. Was it Jackie Wilson? Was that?
That sounds
Because I
very
remember they
right.
used it in Ghostbusters 2
Mhm.
when they got the statue moving and running around New York. Remember? I thought they played Jackie Wilson higher and higher. Anywho, let's move on. Number 2, Andy Gibb. I just want to be your everything. The Gibbs were really crushing it in the late 70s.
Future episode.
Future episode, yeah.
Andy Gibb had an untimely end.
Not
like
a great ending for
the
that guy.
Presleys.
Yeah,
Ooh.
very much like that.
He dated supermodel Victoria Principal.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he died.
Well, this is the principal song around this time. Number 1, The Emotions by The Emotions sing Best of My Love.
Ooh.
I don't even know that song.
The best of my love.
Oh. Whoa, whoa. You got the best of my love.
So we're like right in the heart of disco here. That's from Boogie Nights, actually.
Yeah.
From the hot soundtrack of Boogie Nights.
Right on.
Yeah.
And for films at this time, August 16th, 1977, at the movies, we had the biggest ones. Star Wars.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Is this the one with Jar Jar Binks?
You gotta wait almost 16 years for that one.
Yeah, and then kill yourself.
By the grace of God, there was no CGI at that time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He was unable to ruin Star Wars.
A lot of people say that it was George Lucas's wife that put a lot of that together, or someone else that it was.
Oh, yeah. She was the secret force behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of those 70s directors had a woman like that behind
They
the
were-
scenes.
Scorsese too. His editor was like put together all his best movies.
Thelma
Is that what her name?
Schoonmaker.
She recently got an Oscar for something of recently. I think for The Irishman, she got like best editing or something.
What?
Something. Yeah,
They could have cut that down.
Yeah, that would have been
That,
the best.
are you
worst
trying
one.
to tell me that movie had an editor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing worse than that editing is that Oscar nod.
It was all just rough footage. It was just rough footage.
And Peter Bogdanovich, his wife, was instrumental in his early hits like Last Picture Show.
Yeah.
And the moment they stopped being together, he stopped having hits.
Really?
Started carrying his water bottle around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dorothy Stratton. Yeah, the water bottle. Yeah. That should be, that's going on the shit list, the water bottle.
Another huge movie at this time. Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo.
What the fuck is this?
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Is this,
Vroom.
is this the same Herbie that the Lindsay Lohan movie?
Yes.
Same Herbie?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, because it was like the Volkswagen, right?
The bug.
Yeah,
The bug, yeah.
Yeah.
I go by brand.
the
I
Ted
don't-
Bundy car.
Ted Bundy car.
Yeah.
Oof.
I wonder if that had anything to do with Herbie going away, because it was the 70s and 80s at the time when Ted Bundy was doing his thing.
Yeah. And then Lindsay Lohan said it was okay to use again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those things really happened.
Mhm.
Another movie huge at this time, The Bad News Bears in Breaking Training.
That's such a weird sequel title.
That's another sequel title I don't think I've ever heard.
That's weird.
Yeah, very weird.
And this was before they went to Japan.
Ah, okay.
So they really just hitting the cash register of these Bad News Bears movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and writing Jackie Earl Haley a lot of checks
Hey.
Yeah.
before
Kelly.
he was 18.
Yeah.
Before he was a pedophile in Little Children. Playing, acting.
That is
Yes.
the name of a title of a movie, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to really give some
Oh my God.
Say someone's
yeah.
a
give
pedophile
some
in Little Children.
context here for
That did sound pretty bad.
Jackie Haley.
That happened to me at the bar the other day. There's a local IPA out here called Cool Kids, and the bartender was like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I'll grab a couple of Cool Kids." And then I was like, "I did not like the way that sounded."
Yeah. It's what's his name? Chris Harrison comes in and says, "Why don't you take a seat?"
Yeah, I want to take a seat. Chris Hansen,
Chris Hansen. Yeah, whatever.
which will be making an appearance in one of our episodes sometime soon.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Yes.
Teaser
Ooh,
alert.
Juicy teaser right there.
Yeah.
But sooner than that,
Yes.
Yes.
we're going to Graceland. Graceland.
Yeah. Well, that's Paul Simon.
In the ghetto.
Okay.
January 8th, 1935. Elvis Aaron Presley, born to Vernon and Gladys. He had an identical twin brother that was stillborn, unfortunately. So there could have been another Elvis, which is mind-blowing to me.
Mm.
Yeah, and he would have went by Elvis also.
Elvis 2.
Elvis too.
Like Gallagher, too.
Yeah. Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. They lived in a modest 2-room house in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Mm.
In 1946, Elvis bought his first guitar from a hardware store. And you know how much he paid for that?
50 cents.
Well, a little more than that.
You got to shoot over. You
I'm
say
really
$100.
lowballing you on this guitar.
$8.
$8. Okay.
But it's Elvis.
Not as good as 50 cents.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
That would
know.
have been wild.
I assume
50
everything
cents.
was 50 cents before 1940. In my day,
Yeah,
we
and-
bought guitars for 50 cents.
In
It-
Tupelo, yeah.
Tupelo, yeah.
It was a penny.
Yeah, that's before inflation. Thanks, Biden.
And before penny stocks.
Yeah. It is funny that he got a guitar from a hardware store. It's like, oh, I'll go get a
But
saw
in
and a
those
guitar.
days, you bought everything. It's like going to Target now. You know, you get like a
Yeah.
pack of Oreos and some khakis on the same trip.
Yeah. And you eat the Oreos in the car.
Yeah. and
Am
you,
I right?
yeah,
Yep.
and you put on the khakis in the car.
Take them off in the car.
Oh, why don't you take a seat?
The family relocated to Memphis when Elvis was 7 years old. And he performed in the school talent show like Brittany Murphy.
Ah.
Yeah. Is this his mom pushing him into these things, or is he like, hey mom, I want to do this on my own. I'm not. I don't need you pushing. Okay. He's already got that voice.
No, he does have the voice.
Yeah.
But he's Elvis already. He's performing in the womb.
Oh really?
Yeah,
He's like,
it's a calling.
entertaining the whole family and everything.
Yeah, and clear he's got this thing,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
He
talent.
can't stop those legs moving.
No, he can't.
Came out with blue suede shoes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
His brother came out with a blue head.
Oh,
Oh my God. That was such a wholesome joke that just quickly moved into the darkest thing I've ever heard in my life.
we were kind of having a nice moment here.
I'm disturbed. It's like an Ari Aster movie at the end of that joke.
Yeah, I'm spinning the tale of Elvis's upbringing, and then suddenly you imagine a blue head.
Yeah. Kyle's like, oh, I'm going to reference one of his bigger hits. And then, no, I'm going to say a very bad thing about his dead twin brother.
Dead baby imagery
Jeez
going on
Louise.
here.
That might be our first
God.
dead baby joke on here.
Trigger warning. Is it our first? That's actually surprising. That's the more shocking thing. Not that you said that. That's the first time it's been that bad.
You can't swing a guitar without hitting a dead baby.
That's right.
Yeah, jeez. Things are rough down there in Tupelo.
Elvis had no formal training, couldn't read music. It was all by this.
His ear or his headphones?
Your headphones?
His ear.
Yeah, your headphones.
In 1953, he started driving a truck. And
For a living, or he just started driving a truck?
no, it was his hobby.
I don't know.
I drive truck too.
Yeah. For no reason.
And he went to the Memphis recording service to make a song for his mom's birthday. And a local DJ was listening and was like, this kid's got it.
Wait, is this Tom Hanks?
No, not yet. Then he tipped off producer Sam Phillips, who was the head of Sun Records.
Huge in the industry, especially down there.
Yeah.
In country, yeah, he's like the godfather of country music.
They say that this is the birth of rock and roll because Sun Records had the song Rocket 88, and that's considered the first rock and roll song, and it was recorded there.
That was released in for mass appeal. Little Richard would argue with you that he was the first rock star.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of black musicians that would
yes.
disagree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me rephrase this.
Okay.
The first rock and roll release.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, wide release. I thought it was the Soggy Bottom Boys.
All right, let's move on. You're right, though. Of course, music was going on,
But it was
everywhere.
It's what they would call a crossover.
Right.
Yeah.
It's when it became available to the mainstream.
Gotcha.
In 1954, Elvis recorded a single called That's All Right, Mama at Sun Studio, and it began to play on the local radio program Red Hot and Blue. Listeners were enthralled. Elvis was interviewed, and callers were calling in, assuming he was black. They
Yeah.
couldn't believe this kid was white based on the sound of his voice.
This is one of the scenes where everyone in the town starts dancing,
Yeah.
People on top of pickup trucks dancing who is this?
He soon became a regional sensation in the South. He performed on the Louisiana Hayride, a show based out of Shreveport and broadcast to about 200 stations across the country.
It's like
Wow.
the TRL down there.
Yeah.
After overcoming nerves, Elvis came to life on stage, and the Wiggle was born.
Yeah. They really depicted that in that Baz Luhrmann movie.
Yeah.
To the point that it's absurd. It's giving me a panic attack.
Yeah, the women.
It's just so many.
Yeah, the women
he
in
looked
the
like he
audience.
got the COVID booster.
They immediately start convulsing
Yeah.
when they see his wiggle.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the
It's too
fuck?
much to take.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of women with fans, on their face, and then
Fainting.
they fall backwards. Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
yeah.
I have never.
To declare.
Yeah.
But I want more.
I can't describe this feeling.
I'm so wet. Did I just say that?
I'm red hot and blue down there. January 1955. Enter Colonel Tom Parker, played by
Yes.
Tom Hanks in
God.
the recent Elvis biopic.
He's white. For some reason, that line I say to myself 2 times a day now after seeing that movie.
And he's licking his lips while he's saying it, like, that boy's white.
Oh my God.
It's so
It's
weird.
disturbing. Yeah. it's like a horror movie the way Tom Hanks is playing it.
Black music without black people? That's kind of what he seems to be saying.
Yeah, he sees dollar signs.
Yeah.
The Colonel became Elvis's manager after previous manager Bob Neal couldn't
He was too local. He was too small potatoes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He struggled to keep up with the demands of the rising superstar.
Yeah.
The Colonel was an enigmatic figure who was born in the Netherlands, but never disclosed that to anyone.
Yeah.
And apparently he had immigrated to the States illegally.
Yeah. Because he was in a jam or something back in the Netherlands or something. I think he was a deserter of his own army or something.
Yeah.
But it's so ballsy to come over and call yourself the Colonel.
Yeah.
Fucking
And it worked out.
scumbag. Yeah, it did work out because this is like the days Don Draper was lying to everyone. No one, there's no Equifax to double check your background records or anything.
Yeah, a lot of confidence goes a long way.
Yeah, and just lying to people, especially in the South, it's really, you can't check references for a guy like Colonel Parker.
And good at what he did. It's hard to imagine, but there really wasn't rock and roll music yet.
But he was able to scale what Elvis was doing and get him to bigger and bigger venues and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His previous clients included Hank Snow and Eddie Arnold. And I know everyone in the audience is thinking, who the hell are they?
For the kids listening today.
Doesn't matter in this story.
Yeah.
Parker helped negotiate a deal to sell Elvis's son's studio contract to RCA.
They must have had to pay a good amount of money to Sam Phillips in order to get him off of that contract.
Yeah, they did. But that money actually helped Sun Studio and other artists who would later come up there include Roy Orbison, Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee Lewis.
And was it Johnny Cash or was he not involved in that kind of thing?
Oh, Johnny Cash too.
Yeah, I think Johnny Cash too, yeah.
So that's a pretty good roster.
Yeah.
Of pedos.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa,
we wouldn't have Jerry Lee Lewis, marrying his 13-year-old cousin. And also, questionably, with the wives and stuff who passed away, future episode, don't want to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Lose
Do a
one,
DNA test.
Yeah.
lose one, gain another.
Sure.
Yeah.
Elvis for Jerry.
Well, down south there, they do DNA tests to make sure they're their cousin.
Yeah. Oh, thank God we're related.
Woo, thank God. I was scared there for a moment. I was shaking like I got the COVID booster shot.
Mackenzie Phillips is like, I know what you mean.
Oh, God.
She's Southern now, too. Why is she there?
You know why she's there.
Oh, yeah. I think we all know.
1956, big year for Elvis. First RCA single, Heartbreak Hotel, sold 1 million copies. That's 1 million people rocking out to it.
I went through a huge phase of his a year ago, and I watched that video, The Heartbreak Hotel, and all that, stuff he was doing. It's great.
He's great.
Yeah.
Such a dynamic performer. And I don't care what anybody says. Those are some of the greatest songs ever recorded.
Yeah.
They are earworms, but good ones.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want them in your head.
They're just very catchy, and you just can't get them out of your head.
And if one becomes annoying and you can't get rid of it, just put on another one. And then that will take its place.
Yeah.
And so on and so on. His first album was called Elvis Presley. Pretty creative.
Nice.
Hit #1 on the pop chart, Billboard pop chart. Features a cover of Blue Suede Shoes, originally recorded by Carl Perkins.
Oh, okay.
And that's a black artist.
I actually did not know that. I didn't know.
Oh, really?
I thought I knew he was Sun Studios, but I thought he was white. I thought he was white.
To Elvis's credit, though, I have to say that this was common practice back in the day.
Yeah.
Artists would record
Yeah.
1 million versions of all these songs.
In every genre too.
Yeah.
Everyone would just re-record. Frank Sinatra played everyone's songs, and Bing Crosby and all these people.
So I really don't believe that he was stealing the music.
No.
It's just the way it was.
Yeah.
Elvis also covered Hound Dog, originally performed by Big Mama Thornton in 1953, and All Shook Up, originally performed by David Hess in 1956.
Right.
Kind of crazy to think that Hound Dog was someone else's song first, famously someone else's song.
Yeah, because everyone associates these songs with him moving forward after he
Oh my
records
God.
it. Yeah.
Later in his career, other covers include Suspicious Minds and Burning Love.
Great songs.
Back to the 50s, though, 1956, Elvis had 3 appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show that broke ratings records.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And he made a controversial appearance on the Milton Berle show, Uncle Miltie,
MB, baby.
where he set his guitar aside and swung his hips, gyrating to the music.
Ooh.
Driving the audiences as wild as that.
Maybe Ed Sullivan
first show.
too.
Yeah.
or Miltie. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
Milton Berle.
Uncle Miltie, yeah.
So this was very scandalous. Religious viewers were outraged, and this led to an infamous appearance on the Steve Allen show later that summer, where he cheesily sang Hound Dog to an actual basset hound.
Yeah, because they didn't want to see his hips. I remember that. He felt, well, in the movie, I'm going by the movie. This probably is maybe inaccurate, but he felt embarrassed by doing that.
He was in real life.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't him. It was a corny segment.
It was a way to not have to show his like hips gyrating, him like thrusting and like fucking air.
Yeah, and it seems odd in retrospect to try to tone down someone like Elvis Presley.
Because that's his whole thing. That's how he got popular, was that onstage performance.
It's like, let the man do his thing.
Yeah.
His first movie was released that year in November called Love Me Tender. And I bet you can guess what song was in it.
Love Me Tender?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hound Dog?
Mark, you get the prize.
Blue Baby Head.
That was the B-side to that. Blue Baby Head.
Dead
There
baby
was a blue
brother.
baby head.
I'll have a blue baby head this Christmas.
You ain't nothing but a blue baby head.
Other big hits during this time: Don't Be Cruel, Teddy Bear, and Jailhouse Rock.
Oh.
That's got to be as big as Earworm, I think.
Jailhouse Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah. I like the singing that everyone just like throws at each other. It's like they're not really depicting prison correctly.
Not at all.
Not even close.
Not even close, especially down south.
Ain't exactly the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
In 1957, Elvis bought a 14-acre, 10,000 square foot mansion in Memphis for $100,000.
Damn.
Located at 3764 Highway 51 South.
Damn.
Later changed to Elvis Presley Boulevard.
I heard Graceland is in a bad neighborhood down there.
Wow.
It's very weird. It's
You went down there?
Yeah, I stood outside the gate. You could see the house, but it's just on like there's like strip malls and shit across the street.
Oh, really?
It's so weird. Yeah, it's this sprawling,
It's in like a commercial area.
very green like trees, and it's beautiful. And then across the street is like
Yeah.
Dunkin'
like
Donuts.
El Pollo Loco across
Yeah,
the street.
exactly.
They do that sometimes, though, where they'll have a famous landmark in a shitty area.
Yeah, but all the strip mall stuff they were like converted into. It's like the Elvis Presley like T-shirt shops and
it's like
stuff.
memorabilia shops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can buy it with Elvis bucks or something.
Yeah. It's like Dollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been to Dollywood. It sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we should do it.
I heard it's better because don't they actually have like roller coasters and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
there? Yeah.
It's the real deal.
Yeah. All they have at Graceland is just memories of him being a pedophile.
Okay.
Can you are you able to, is there like a ride where you can shoot the TV off with the gun?
Probably.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do a bunch of barbiturates and just take a dump.
I wanted to do that while watching that biopic recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. That's the best way to watch that movie, on the toilet.
The nickname Graceland came from the original builders Thomas Moore and his wife Ruth, named after her Aunt Grace, who originally owned the land.
Oh, wow. That's how they do it down there.
1958. At the height of his growing international stardom and controversy over his immoralistic stage persona, Elvis was drafted into the army, and the colonel urged him to go because it would repair his image.
It was like a negotiation. They knew he wasn't going to see any action there. And they're like, they want to, protect his image, and they didn't want to be a draft dodging situation because Korea was bad. Like, Korea was like the Vietnam of the 50s, kind of. No one really wanted to get involved in that too hard.
And that's what MASH was about, the Korean War.
Yeah. It was, right? Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah, it was in Vietnam.
Not Vietnam.
So yeah,
But it
that's
seemed like a
almost-
hoot.
Yeah.
a lot of one-liners during that.
Yeah.
Alan
war.
Alda's there. Come on, I'm going.
Yeah.
Hot lips.
Yeah. Robert Altman directed the war.
Yeah.
People don't know that.
Sadly, Elvis's mom Gladys died months later on August 14th, 1958.
Whoa.
I remember that date, August 14th.
August 14th, the day before my birthday, and then August 16th, he dies the day after my birthday. Look at this.
That's what I was thinking.
It's all
too.
about me.
Yeah.
Kyle connected all the dots.
It all revolves around Kyle here, I guess.
Gladys had become an alcoholic and depressed. She wasn't coping too well with the new lifestyle, all the money coming in,
Yeah.
and also Elvis being shipped out like that. It was traumatic for her.
Well, she also, I heard this recently, she had a dodgy heart. And I think a lot of people in that family do have bad hearts because there's a legend that they are inbred. The Presley family are inbred from cousins and stuff, which is, like I said, if you're not a cousin, make sure.
Yeah, you ain't nothing but a not purebred hound dog, okay?
Inbred hound.
You ain't nothing but an inbred.
And have you seen the YouTube video about the Appalachian family called the Whitakers?
No.
The inbred family where they bark instead of talk?
Oh,
Oh,
God.
come on.
Yes. No, they're like, hey, how you doing today? And then the guy's like, woof, woof, woof.
It's
Oh,
just like a
boy.
Ken Burns documentary.
And I was just thinking how some inbred families could turn out like that.
Yeah.
And then you get fucking Elvis Presley.
Yeah, both sides of the spectrum. And then you get like the most talented, rock star in the world ever.
Yeah.
Who kind of created, rock stars.
Allegedly.
What?
We don't know if they're inbred for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people say. And that's the reason why they say there's some bad genes there.
I didn't say it.
Yeah. Okay.
Elvis was devastated by his mom's passing. After training in Texas, he was posted in Germany. In September 1959, he seemed to get over it. No, I don't know. But
How did he get over it?
Yeah, how'd this happen? What are you talking about?
he met 14-year-old Priscilla Ann Bouyer when she came to one of his parties in Bad Nauheim.
Wait, what are you trying to say? Is this a city?
It is
in Germany.
It's a city in
Wait
Germany.
a second. He just had a 14-year-old delivered to him in Germany on a Air Force base? Or
Yeah.
something?
Yes.
What?
How would you pronounce that word, Kyle?
Nauheim.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Priscilla was originally born in Brooklyn, New York. Her dad died early on.
Makes sense.
He was in the army.
Why you would go after an older man?
His
Little daddy issues.
his
All right.
he was a pilot, and his plane went down on the way home.
Oof.
Really?
And her stepdad was a Navy officer, so her family moved from base to base.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't like, I thought she was like a fan that was delivered to him on like a 747 or something. So she
No,
was
she's just a girl with a dead dad that
Yeah,
got
she-
delivered to him.
yeah, very different. But she was on the military base. That's why they.
Yes,
that's
they
how
were
met.
transferred to Bad Nauheim.
That's gonna haunt you until you die.
I'm looking up the age of consent in Germany.
It's what
14.
it's whatever you want it to be.
It's 14.
Yeah.
Well, so Elvis was in the right.
So I guess
Wait,
it's not illegal.
Is it really 14?
It's 14. Wow.
Wow.
That is young.
Party if you want to party, Mr. Presley.
Elvis is like, that is good.
Green light says
God.
go, Mr. Presley.
Jesus.
Elvis was 24 at the time, and he was instantly smitten with the 9th grader.
Oh, the 9th grader.
Hit us with that sentence one more time.
Hello.
I don't feel like it.
This thing on.
Priscilla returned home late, upsetting her parents, but Elvis apologized to them and convinced them to let him keep seeing her.
Sorry, I was legally fucking your daughter.
On paper, it's okay for me to do this. Okay. Oh.
You see that age of consent? Hello. They spent
Jerry LaLuz is like, wait a second.
You're not related.
I'm going to one-up ya. I'm going to be related to the little girl.
I want to one up you. I'm gonna get younger.
It's cooler.
They spent a lot of time together until his departure in 1960. They kept in touch by phone. Priscilla
Kept in touch by genitals.
Okay.
No, they didn't actually.
There's
I'm going to get to that. Priscilla visited him for 2 weeks in the summer of 1962. And during this trip, although Elvis said they were just going to stay in Los Angeles, where he was living,
Yeah.
he took her to Las Vegas. And during this stay, just to keep up with him, Priscilla would take amphetamines and sleeping pills because
What?
Elvis was nocturnal
Yeah.
and he had a fast lifestyle.
And he just would never stop. He was
No.
like from night and day, just kept going.
Yeah.
wait, so we're putting it on Priscilla that she
I
has
know,
to keep
right?
up with him.
Yeah. It's not like she's being fed these pills as an underage girl or something, wandering Las Vegas. But, she, had to step up her game.
Yeah.
So she took some speed.
That's how she put it.
It's how
okay.
she had to put it.
I
That's
know,
not my
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Keeping up with him. Jesus. They shouldn't have been in the same zip code.
Yeah.
Keep up with him. My God. In 1963, Priscilla's parents allowed her to move to Memphis because Elvis was in Memphis as well, obviously, because he bought Graceland.
Sure.
Yeah.
He was in L.A. because he was also a movie star.
Yeah. He was all over the place.
Elvis made an agreement that Priscilla would live in a separate house nearby under the supervision of Elvis's dad, Vernon, and his stepmother, Dee,
I don't believe any of this shit.
Yeah.
until Priscilla graduated high school that coming June.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got control of our adult millionaire son.
Yeah. Who pays our bills?
Yeah, who lives in a gated mansion
Yeah.
like 200 yards from the gate.
Yeah. Who takes 3,000 milligrams of speed per day?
There are some stories that say that she was staying with him at the time anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
As their relationship progressed, Elvis would make her stay at Graceland while he went off to Hollywood to film movies. Priscilla remained a virgin while he went and had multiple affairs with the likes of Anne Margaret, his co-star in Viva Las Vegas. I was going to say Rock Vegas. The Flintstones sequel
Yeah.
with Stephen Baldwin.
And Halle Berry.
Well, she was in the first one,
Oh, okay, never mind.
playing the Secretary Sharon Stone.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Okay, so Viva Las Vegas. That is confirmed by Anne Margaret. They had an affair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I believe he had the affair, but I think whether or not she remained a virgin is to be seen. They were, I don't know if you're going to get into it, but the Polaroids that were found of Priscilla naked and underage.
I don't remember
Yeah.
this.
And he
At
was like,
Woody Allen's apartment.
yeah.
I have a few pictures here, okay?
And he's like, I promise, I never touched her. It was just pictures, okay? I didn't touch her till she was legal. And it's like,
Okay,
all right,
but
dude.
that actually maybe supports their weird arrangement. I think that was part of the foreplay.
Yeah.
But not actually touching each other, and they would take those erotic photos. I believe Priscilla in this. She has no reason to lie about this time.
She's covering for her bank account.
What?
Yeah.
No, but it's. I think it sounds weirder that they didn't get together because by this point she's already 18.
No, but I think what Kyle's trying to say, it would hurt the brand, it would hurt everything Elvis if it came out that he was a legitimate pedophile.
No, but she's 18 by now. Remember, there was a couple-year break.
No, but I don't know.
I'm not justifying the 14.
People would do the
part.
math and be like, yeah, it's
No, but she was 18 when she moved to Graceland.
yeah. But I think
In high school, you know how you're 18, your final year in high school?
the implication
It
is
doesn't
that
sound better.
before she was 18, anything was going on, and who the hell
Don't
knows?
forget, you said he was smitten with a 9th grader, so.
You did particularly put in that 9th grader on purpose, I feel like.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
Elvis denied the affairs to Priscilla, gaslighting her. In her 1985 memoir, Elvis and Me, she wrote that he didn't seem to be that sexually into her. They would engage in petting and have makeout sessions, but he would stop before it got to the point of having sex.
I'm going to pet you like a hound dog.
They did not consummate their relationship until they got married in Las Vegas on May 1st, 1967. Summer of Love, baby.
Yeah, that's the correct Summer of Love.
Yeah, it is. Lisa Marie was born 9 months to the day on February 1st, 1968.
This is the biggest PR spin I've ever heard.
I know.
We had sex one time and she got pregnant.
Alejandro's just reading Colonel Tom Parker's talking points.
He's getting paid by the PR
press.
team.
Yeah. Like as it's accurate information.
Lisa Marie's like immaculate conception.
Yeah, exactly.
The couple played miniature golf instead of having sex, 3 times.
Well, hear me out. I just think that it sounds weirder if they didn't have sex before then. It makes him sound like a controlling asshole, for which he was to her.
Yeah.
I think it would sound better if he took her to Hollywood once in a while, if they had sex.
Yeah.
This makes him sound like a fucking creep.
Like he was like growing this future wife of his to...
No, but he was a creep when it came to her. Yes,
Yeah.
they conceived Lisa Marie, but he very much viewed Priscilla like a younger sister.
Really?
Yeah, she
That
said...
he took naked pictures of.
Yeah, that's why it's so weird.
Polaroid.
She said he wasn't that into her like that because he viewed her as this virgin. And furthermore, when she had the baby, all the more reason not to corrupt her with his sexual...
Maybe that's a Southern thing.
antics.
Have like a young wife, girlfriend, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you play around on the side.
Well, it's just like an older guy thing. It's like it's an easier way to be able to control somebody mentally and physically. It's like they look up to you and you have all the power in the relationship, so you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
You stay here, baby. I'm gonna go make some movies.
He's a mixed up guy. I think we could say that. And probably that's what was going on.
Yeah.
He's a superstar.
Yeah.
Is that
Elvis?
Yeah, he's here. Where's that coming from? Is that still going on?
Hello? That was weird.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm in the phone, man.
Keeping that in the podcast.
Yeah.
That is definitely Elvis's
Sorry, Elvis.
ghost.
I'm in your iPhone 14, man. Okay.
By 1968, Elvis's daily routine included taking Placididil pills.
I'm sure he had them in one big bowl, uppers, downers, and that was it.
Yeah, so he took the Placididil pills to get to sleep and then Dexedrine to wake up. And his day would start at 4 p.m. And we have a little clip from Larry King Now, Priscilla talking about Elvis.
His pill use.
Do you remember the first boy you ever kissed?
How could I forget? The whole world knows. Elvis Presley. I was only 14, Larry. I wasn't.
But now they kiss at 9.
Well, that was that
Whoa.
now, but back then I didn't.
Is he kissing her?
Now they kiss at 9?
Yeah.
We've regressed
Memory
since
like
then?
that.
Yeah.
What the
You've
fuck
ever
is
waited
wrong
to
How the
with
fuck
Larry?
does he know
Absolutely.
that?
It was.
He's like, because I've been out there
Yeah.
in the trenches. looking
Now they
for
touch
kids.
umbilical cords.
Yeah. I put on my kid suspenders and I go out there. I see what's going on with the kids. And I say, how old are you kids kissing over there?
You better be 9.
You better be 9. You better be related.
So when Elvis had returned from Germany, he had a more clean-cut image. And his first movie was G.I. Blues. And his first new single was Stuck on You, which hit number 1 in March 1960.
Directed by the Farrelly brothers and starring Matt Damon.
That's a classic, right? Not quite as memorable as Something About Mary. But
Yeah.
This was followed by Are You Lonesome Tonight? And It's Now or Never, which was retooled from the Italian song O Solo Mio.
Oh, solo mio.
And There's No Tomorrow by Tony Martin.
Okay.
And do you remember what that song is from?
No.
He performed it at the roast of Lucy and Desi Arnaz,
Ah.
where Parker Carcass died.
Wait, Elvis was there too?
Tony
Martin.
Martin.
Oh,
There's
Tony
no
Martin.
tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
There's no tomorrow.
You're just making a link to the Die universe.
But
here.
apparently that's the song that Elvis fashioned It's Now or Never from. There's
Okay.
no tomorrow. Anyway.
or he stole it.
Yeah.
I can steal from Italians too.
Yeah, I'm gonna fashion this from you.
I'm going to steal your song and your daughter.
Yeah. I'm gonna kiss her at 9 years old.
Because Larry King says it's okay. Over the next half a decade, Elvis would star in profitable yet mediocre low-budget studio movies, and often have hit records that would coincide with their release, such as Can't Help Falling in Love from the movie Blue Hawaii and Return to Sender from Girls, Girls, Girls.
He was like the Will Smith of his days. You know, he'd do the song with
He
the
was
movie.
punching comedians on
Yeah.
stages.
No, he's like Wild Wild West. He's got the album that goes along with the movie and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
He was a force.
He would have slapped Chris Rock if he was there.
Yeah. Here come the men that are black. Whoa.
Okay.
They're mad I'm stealing their songs.
Colonel Parker cuts in. They're white. They're white. He's white.
By the end of the 1960s, the hits stopped coming.
Ooh.
And people
But
stopped
he did not.
going. No, he started coming. In Priscilla, that is.
Oh boy.
At their marriage.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, at the ceremony?
That's what they make
the
it sound
ceremony.
like.
Okay.
And people stopped going to his movies. His crappy movies.
Well, his movies were garbage.
Yeah,
they were
really
never
were.
good. Yeah.
Really were.
They were crap.
And basically the Beatles left Elvis in their wake.
Yeah.
The pop landscape had changed. Elvis did a comeback special for NBC, filmed in Burbank.
Ooh.
In June 1968. It was his first live performance in 7 years.
Wow.
It was originally planned as a Christmas special, and he ended the special with the song If I Can Dream, which was based on Martin Luther King, who had been assassinated earlier that year.
Oh, wow.
So Elvis was getting political.
Yeah. He was like the Bono of his day.
And he's like, I'm not going to just be some cheesy pop star.
Yeah.
You know, like he was in those movies.
Yeah.
And he had started to lose sight of the songs he wanted to record. He wanted to get back to the roots, the songs that really made him happy. And so he was fine. He found himself again.
That was the one where he wore all leather, right? And he
and he has in the background the Elvis neon sign.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I get so lonely I could die.
Sure. I don't know, actually.
No, he sang that song, and he did like it was like an early unplugged version of some of his songs.
He said that in the bathroom on his last day, too.
What, unplugged?
I get so lonely I could die as I'm pushing.
And I'm unplugged.
The special was a massive ratings hit in November 1968. 42% of the television audience was watching it.
I thought you were going to say 42% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And it spawned a successful soundtrack album, sparked Elvis's later career comeback.
Yeah.
He returned to Memphis for the first time in years to record his 10th studio album. And one of the singles from that was In the Ghetto, a social message song about the vicious cycle of poverty and violence. So this is quite a ways from Teddy Bear.
Yeah. Well, I think he had two new producers he was working with that were like kind of trying to put his career back on track and make it more relevant.
Yeah. Because it wasn't working anymore anyway, doing it the other way.
Yeah, he was just doing bad crooner songs that were like good for Vegas and like for people that were half dead anyway. And
Yeah.
like, he was not hip to anyone, but he still had with him that cool thing that he just wasn't tapping into anymore. And Colonel Parker he didn't care. You know, he wanted Elvis to be the most uncool person in the world as long as he was able to hang out in Vegas as much as he could.
Yeah, Parker,
that's what the movie portrays anyway.
He just wanted to sell merchandise and
Yeah.
keep the train rolling barely. There's a line in the movie where he's like, you went and took Hollywood's money. Good for you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but you're not going to be remembered in history for that.
I know. I think people were, but Elvis was coming up at a time that you really had to cultivate your stardom and stuff. And the Beatles dealt with that too, you know, because they were getting too big. They couldn't even tour anymore. And they were just becoming some weird commodity that was just getting away from them. Same thing with Bob Dylan. And you just had to like, at some point, snap and just rein it all back in.
Yep. And another song from those sessions in Memphis was Suspicious Minds. One of his signature songs reached number 3 on the charts.
Yeah.
And he began touring again, setting attendance records.
But not in Europe, though, right?
He never toured in Europe.
Well, we know why. Well, the movie really just puts the spotlight on Colonel Parker, which is the reason why they didn't go there, because of his legal troubles back there.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe it was for the best for Elvis. I don't know. Not
Well,
really.
the movie makes it seem like that would have saved his life in his career if he just did Europe tour. I don't know.
Well, he was huge in
They
Japan.
loved him in Europe
And Japan.
And Japan, too.
Worldwide. He could have gone any of those places and
He
made a
could
ton
have
of
gone
money.
around the entire world. He was huge everywhere on the globe.
I'm just thinking as his health deteriorated.
Yeah.
Maybe all that overseas
The
traveling
traveling
is
might have
not
been tough.
great.
But rather than being stuck in Vegas in it's doing.
He was going downhill.
I go to
anyway.
Vegas 2 days. I feel like I'm dying.
Right,
you stay there too long, you wind up a disaster.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Elvis, I think.
You know, the hits were drying up. He had a little resurgence there, but in the 70s, he only had 3 songs that charted, and one of them was Burning Love.
Yeah.
So his money maker was touring. So yeah, you make a good point. If he had gone overseas, he probably could have made a lot more money.
And it was easier to travel at that time. Like now, if you tour, like you're like breaking even sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Then you could like stretch out on the airplane, smoke a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
They had lounges.
Yeah.
In 1970, the documentary That's the Way It Is hit theaters. And this is where he debuted the white jumpsuit and cape. Yeah, which
This was
became
the beginning of the end.
Yeah, his
here.
stage
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah.
Great documentary, by the way. There's a scene where he's going through, talking to all the backup singers and the musicians, and he's really specific about what he wants each person to do during the song.
Yeah.
It just shows the genius as a performer. He didn't just phone it in. He's like, okay, I want you to come in a little later there, and then I want you to do the pow here,
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't very articulate in that, like as far as the musicality of things, but he knew like the general sense of what he wanted from people.
Yeah. After treating him for what's called saddle pain, which is what it sounds like. Where
It sounds like you were on a horse too long.
yeah, basically in that groin area.
Yeah.
You're having some issues.
Like bow-legged or something.
A man named Dr. George Constantine Nicopolis came onto the scene.
Sounds legitimate, Doctor.
Dr.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, Dr. Nick from The Simpsons, Dr. Nick.
Affectionately known as Dr. Nick.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. That was based on him.
That was
Was it really?
inspired
Yeah.
that character?
No shit.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Among other things, but yeah, clearly the name Dr. Nick, too.
Yeah, but
Is there
still.
a documentary how that's very bad for like doctors or something?
And that he's a quack doctor.
Yeah.
You'll hear about Dr. Nick.
Ooh.
So this guy became Elvis's full-time doctor after that.
Ooh, I got another category for the shitties. Worst doctor. Dr. Nick, Dr. Sebi,
Yeah.
Dr. Carson, whatever the
The
guy-
Michael Jackson one.
Dr. Conrad Murray.
Yeah, Conrad Murray, yeah.
Future episode.
Yes.
In 1973, Priscilla and Elvis divorce.
Ooh.
She's had enough now that she's an adult.
She's too old.
Imagine what she had to deal with for that to be enough. Like
Yeah,
it must
for
have been.
real.
It must have got really
Ooh,
bad.
real cold.
Yeah,
Well, they weren't doing it anyway.
yeah.
So by the time that the smoke clears, she's probably like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, super cold.
He's shooting the TV
Colder
off.
than his brother.
Oh my
vey.
God!
Yikes.
Kyle's just waiting for any
Foot on the
time
gas.
He could pepper that into the podcast.
I got shit for talking about that old lady in the Johnny Lewis episode.
Yeah, the problem is you got to just keep hitting it.
Oh yeah, you
I
did,
should have
yeah.
tripled down.
Yeah. So you're uncancelable
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you're so over the top.
Yeah.
That's like Trump. You just overdo
keep
it.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you trick people into thinking what you're saying is okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm offended that you're offended.
Yeah, he's gaslighting us and all the listeners.
Like
Yeah.
Elvis.
Like Elvis.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are my Priscillas.
Takes one to know one, right?
Yeah.
Gaslighter, that is. All right, 1973. Oh, I already said that. So that same year, 1973, his TV special Aloha from Hawaii via satellite.
This is when it's getting really bad.
Yeah, it's broadcast to 40 countries and seen by about 1 billion people worldwide.
In the movie, he said 1.5 billion.
Yeah,
people.
even more than that.
So
yeah.
is that because it was like pay-per-view, wasn't it?
Mhm.
So people had to order it.
Is that true? Wait, no, wait.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think it was just broadcast everywhere.
Oh.
No, you had to have cable to start
They didn't have
doing-
pay-per-view then.
Pay-per-view, yeah.
I don't know.
They didn't have Howard
Yeah,
Stern, rotten New Year's Rotten
they-
Eve in 1973.
Yeah, they got it on Patreon or Napster.
73 pay-per-view. Well, is that so out of the
Yes,
question?
Yes.
Pay-per-views were happening in the 80s.
No, you're right.
No,
It was-
cable happened in the 80s.
It's not too far.
It was sold as a package with UFC.
Yeah. yeah, the
Elvis.
Conor McGregor fight in Elvis.
So
Kyle's so out of touch.
First pay-per-view ever, 1983. Not too far away. Okay.
a decade.
He so proudly just said, I'm wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That proved our point.
No, you're saying it's so crazy.
No, it's
10
just-
years is a long time.
Because I was gonna say, if it was pay-per-view and you get 1.5 billion downloads or pays, then
Oh,
it's like,
downloads it. Yeah, this guy's out
you
of
just
touch.
you finish. You don't have to go on tour ever again.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
He acts like 10 years is no time at all.
Yeah.
It
That's
isn't.
the difference between when he first met Priscilla and she was a fetus.
There was
2013
three-
was yesterday.
3
Yes,
wars
good point.
that the U.S. was involved in since that time.
All right, Kyle, you're right. I'll let you have
yeah,
that one.
Let's just move on.
Same thing as pay-per-view,
Same thing.
except no one paid.
Yeah.
They just viewed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elvis performed 168 concerts in 1973 alone. He started to complain of vertigo, back pain, insomnia, headaches, and eye infections.
Oof.
He overdosed on barbiturates twice, resulting in a 3-day coma. He was hospitalized again in 1975, a month after he became lethargic and distraught after turning 40 on January 8th.
Wow.
I guess 40 was a big deal back then. That's
Well,
what Priscilla said.
It's a big deal for his family because his mom died at like, what, 42 or something? His mom died not too far after. And a lot of people I'll go back to this, that they had a lot of heart problems and they didn't live long past 40 in that family, in the Presley family.
And back then, 40 was like 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little ridiculous, but yeah, but you're right. Like people didn't live as long.
Good to go back to the Flintstones. There's a line where Fred is like, "My old man lived to the ripe old age of 35."
Yeah.
Throughout the rest of the year, 1975, get this, Elvis refused to bathe because he felt something bad could happen if he slipped in the shower. Or he could drown in the bathtub.
Why didn't he just get one of those things with the grips on
Yeah,
the
the
floor?
grippy
shower?
floor,
The grippy floor. Yeah. You just got to turn on pay-per-view. No.
They do surgery to make him an amphibian.
Get him web feet. Yeah.
Also, you're a multi-millionaire. You could just get someone to put a bar in the shower, just hold on to it. Like,
Yeah.
there's many things you can do.
You could
get
hire
a
someone.
chair in the shower. That's really bad. When you get a chair in the shower, you're a bad
I
drunk.
wash myself with a rag on a stick.
Bart Simpson.
Yeah.
Fantasizing about being fat.
Oh, cool. Like, yeah, I like when he fantasizes him being the worst version of his older self.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're right, though. Elvis could hire someone to give him a sponge bath, even.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah.
lots. Well, he wasn't in his right.
Well, he had the
mindset.
Memphis Mafia, those kind of crew of guys
Yeah,
that
we're getting
surrounded
to
him.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, but hey,
Yeah.
let's bring him in right now,
Why not?
boys. Come on down.
Them
Memphis
boys.
Mafia, nickname given to his entourage.
His entourage,
yes.
yeah. His Ian Turtle and Johnny Drama were the Memphis Mafia.
Yeah.
Goes without saying that Elvis developed sores all over his body due to
Okay.
the
Good
not
God.
bathing thing.
TMI.
Yeah. Jesus. He must have smelled really bad. too.
He just wore that one piece all over the place everywhere.
He's like, where'd I leave my jock strap?
Yeah.
Can you hand that to me?
Ugh.
The assistant dies.
Yeah.
Elvis was offered a role in the movie A Star Is Born, which would have been opposite Barbra Streisand.
The Chris Christopherson part?
Yeah, that's what Christopherson went on to play his part. Obviously, this never happened because the Colonel was doing the negotiating and was outrageous
Yeah.
with the demands.
He's probably like Simon Monjack, where he is like, I got to be there the entire time. And I
Right.
got to be breathing over Elvis over every moment. And
Yeah.
And when you think about it, how brilliant would Elvis have been in A Star Is Born?
it seems like that's the role for
it
him,
would have
especially at
been
that point in his life.
The role
Yeah.
to go, in knowing what happens later.
Yes.
That if he could have gotten that in, that would have been his legacy as a movie star.
Yeah. Was he an actor at that level though that could pull off
that
a
role? He
performance
could have
like
played.
Christopherson did?
Because he was close to that role.
Close, yeah.
Very close to that role. So that's why I think he could have gave a great performance as a washed up
I think he could have, yeah.
rock star.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you think?
Who, me?
Deados out there.
He's no Bradley Cooper, but he's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bradley Cooper had to put on that weird voice. Elvis already had that voice.
You stole my voice.
They all stole Elvis's voice. All the people that talk like Austin Butler in the biopic, he talks like
Yeah,
this.
he can't stop talking like that.
And I'd like to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press.
And yeah, I remember the Q&A after, like, why do you talk like that now? He's like, I would talk like what?
Like, weren't you on Nickelodeon a few minutes ago? Just,
He's like, talk like he's doing the Elvis dance.
Sounding like an American kid. Like,
Yeah.
Or not American.
Yeah, he was on
like the
Disney.
South isn't American.
He was on-
You know what I mean? He didn't
Yeah.
have an accent.
But he was on Disney multicam shows before this, and he's like, Austin Butler meaning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where were we? Elvis had plastic surgery on his eyes to remove the wrinkles. How's that?
Yikes. The crow's feet gotta go.
Yeah.
Was he putting like cocaine in his eyes? Like, why is he?
I don't know. He had a bit of vanity still.
Okay.
Was he living like a king? I don't know. His spending was certainly out of control. Manager Tom Parker, the colonel, reportedly took 50% on every dollar Elvis earned.
That's crazy.
Although his dad Vernon was his financial advisor, nothing could stop Elvis from buying expensive things, including jewelry, classic luxury cars, yachts, a private jet named after his daughter, the Lisa Marie, it was called, pricey allowances for friends and family, and the Memphis Mafia. He gave out cars like they were candy, I guess. Like Oprah. You get a car, you get a car.
He was like MC Hammer, but like every day of his life.
Yeah.
Like even
Except
like,
he actually had money.
he had money, I guess. Yeah.
And talent.
Wow.
No,
taking some hot shots at MC
come
Hammer
on.
here.
Adam's Family Rap, love it. Come on, I'm just joshing.
They do what they want to do, say what they want to say. Adam Family Rap.
According to The Guardian, one morning he bought 32 Cadillacs, and by afternoon, all of them had been given away.
Wow.
He lives like the movie Blank Check. like every second of his life. But that's a good feeling. But it's like Michael Jackson was the same way. I know we're going to talk about this at some point on one of these podcasts, but like the same thing was going on. Like working way too much to pay someone
to death.
To deal with your spending problems.
And Dr. Conrad Murray and Dr.
Well, Dr.
Nick.
Conrad Murray was brought in order to give this guy, drugs that would kill him eventually.
Well, wait till you hear about Dr. Nick.
Okay, never mind.
But speaking of Blank Check, you know how in the movie the kid buys all the latest cool gadgets?
Yeah.
Like he has like the virtual reality thing, the headset.
Yeah.
Well, Elvis was like that. He loved buying everything new and cool. For instance, he had one of the first VCRs on the market.
Ooh.
And he just always wanted the latest technology. So he would have really liked HD, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like if we come away from anything from this, that Elvis would have loved HD.
Yeah, as much as he likes young chicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
My ninth grader would love this resolution on this TV right here.
You see the oozing on my swords.
You know what? Who he would have gotten along with? Bob Crane.
Yeah, I think he would
And
have.
Carpy.
Maybe.
Carpy would have hooked him up with the latest equipment.
But Elvis' thing...
And then smashed him over the head with it.
Elvis's thing was more drugs.
But Elvis would have survived somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's immortal until he just dies on a toilet.
They wake up the next morning after they thought they killed him. Hey, what are we doing today,
Yeah,
guys?
exactly.
Wait a second. I thought we killed you, Elvis.
He's got the tripod in his head.
Hey, let's hit the tables after we get some pancakes, all right?
So with all the spending, That also included hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of prescription drugs. And they were legal, so he didn't feel like he was a junkie.
Everything's legal if you have enough money.
Yeah.
In late 1976, Elvis began dating 20-year-old former beauty queen Ginger Alden after a bad breakup with former girlfriend Linda Thompson. So he's got a new young chick with him.
I love how she's 20 and she's a former beauty queen.
I know, yeah. She aged out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, 14 was a long time ago.
She's on the way down.
She's middle-aged.
At 20. Yeah.
The Memphis Mafia didn't trust her.
Oh, God. We'd hate to see that.
Yeah.
The Memphis Mafia doesn't
They
like
thought
it.
she might be after his money. By this time, Elvis was a shell of his former self. Paranoid, severely overweight, and addicted to daily pharmaceuticals. A recording session at Graceland in November 1976 didn't work out, so they decided to book another session at Buzz Cason's Creative Workshop in Nashville in January 1977. So they're like, it didn't work out here in Memphis. It might help to change the scenery and go to Nashville. Well, Elvis wasn't feeling well, and he couldn't make the new date, so all the session musicians were sent home. What was really happening behind the scenes was he and Ginger were fighting, and she didn't want to go with him to Nashville, so he made up a story that he had a sore throat.
Oh, God.
I mean, this is childish stuff.
Yeah. Well, he seems like he never...
I'm just talking about Ginger.
Yeah, exactly. He never grew up past the age of when he started becoming famous. I heard that's a big thing with famous people. You never really mature past the age you start getting famous. That's why
freezes you in time.
Yeah, that's not like Bieber is actually okay these days, I feel like. But a lot of child stars are really like...
He is married to a Baldwin, though.
Yeah. Alec Baldwin's niece.
Baldwin. Follow my wife on Instagram.
I did not pull the trigger.
I'd like to leave the Splenda packet to Ireland, my daughter. That pig.
That pig. You're a pig.
But what was I trying to say, though?
I think you were saying that he's still a kid.
Yeah,
'cause
their
he never
maturity
matured.
freezes in
I think
time.
that's what happens. You kind of have arrested development, and you just are never not that kind of age.
And let's face it, a bunch of yes people agreeing to every crazy idea and demand.
Well, it's funny that the Memphis Mafia are scared of this Ginger taking all his money. Meanwhile, Tom Parker is literally taking all of his money.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're doing nothing about it.
He wasn't as much in the picture at this point, besides just collecting checks and making sure that Elvis kept touring.
Yeah.
That
But
was the Colonel's big thing.
He was also around before the Memphis Mafia, too. So it's like,
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
predated, you're less worried about
Sort
it.
of discovered him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's how it works with some of these like famous people. Like whoever's there first, you know,
Yeah.
you have the golden goose ticket here.
Yeah.
But in other scenarios, they send that person on their way.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. The,
Like,
the
see
new
ya.
person's like, it's like Wayne's World 2 when Christopher Walken's like, hey, come with us.
Yeah,
Leave these losers.
Whoever's the bigger, better deal for
Yeah.
you,
Mhm.
you know, you can be wooed away from other people that are more important to you sometimes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say
Yeah.
the Memphis Mafia were more important than anything.
No.
Or Colonel Parker, they're all scumbags.
And if someone gives you a Cadillac, are you really going to criticize his lifestyle?
Right.
Yeah.
So those in the inner circle of the Memphis Mafia believed that Elvis was more in love with Ginger than she was with him. But she did seem to lift him up, even helping him perform a pretty good New Year's Eve show in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So
New Year's in Pittsburgh.
Wow, this is the most important show of my life right now. This New Year's in Pittsburgh.
if I can't go to Japan, I'm going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Elvis proposed to Ginger on January 26, 1977. He was very much into astrology, like Left Eye, and he explained that 2 + 6 added up to 8, and 8 was his number.
This is like bad gambler logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just nonsense.
There was a mini 10-day tour in February 1977, and Ginger joined him there. In March 1977, he planned a Hawaiian getaway with her, but it soon turned into a party of 30 people. Also like Left Eye,
Yeah.
when she went to
Like
Honduras.
Honduras,
yeah. With
Well,
Dr.
that's like
Sebi.
bipolar people. They just like, you know, when they're on the high end of the spectrum,
Yeah.
they're going crazy, bringing all these people around them.
Yeah. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Yeah.
But they left after 10 days because Elvis got sand in his eye, and Dr. Nick thought that his cornea might be scratched. So they returned to Graceland.
Hey, man, I ain't wearing no glasses, okay, Dr. Nick?
After briefly cleaning up his act, Elvis's health quickly deteriorated. He had glaucoma, hypertension. After concerts, his blood pressure would shoot up to 200. He had a twisted colon, high blood sugar. He would get bruises on his legs. Larry Geller, his hairstylist, and David Stanley, one of his stepbrothers, noticed that on one occasion, Elvis had fallen asleep in the middle of a meal. And they put him to bed, and he had no memory of any of that the next day.
Sounds like heart disease and diabetes is just ravaging him, but he's not getting an actual diagnosis on anything.
Yeah. And he's like, he has all these yes men. They're like, what do you want it to be, Elvis? Here's some pills.
His cousin, Billy Smith, was one of his closest confidants, and so was Billy's wife, Jo. She would put him to bed because Elvis liked the whole send-off at bedtime. She would read him a story, tuck him in, and say goodnight.
Like, he is a little kid.
Treating him like a baby.
Yeah, he's like a baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Treating him like Priscilla.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back in the day.
Oh, my God.
Another night, Elvis was wandering around and was led into his cousin Billy Smith's room. Elvis proceeded to climb into bed with him and his wife, Jo. He told them about a dream where he saw the face of God as a white light. And in the middle of talking, about an hour later, he suddenly zonked out and fell asleep.
Jesus.
They're
And
like,
so-
what do we do with this big maniac in our bed?
Yeah, imagine this big sweaty guy covered in sores just talking himself to
still
sleep in your bed
he's
with your
wearing
wife.
a leather one piece still, yeah.
You'll never believe the dream I had. It's fucked up.
He's got a cape on in bed still.
Yeah.
Okay, Elvis, what was the dream?
Yeah.
You're sitting in your Cadillac while he's telling
Well,
you.
he's got he's got a group of 30 people that follow him around
Yeah.
everywhere.
And
Jeez.
again, we've been through this with River Phoenix and hosts of others. It's a lot of people on the payroll.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that can be very stressful.
Unhealthy
Unhealthy.
for everyone.
Another time he called his friend Jerry Schilling saying he needed help because he was on the floor and he couldn't get up. A concert review of his show in Alexandria, Louisiana, the person wrote, "He was on stage less than an hour. Impossible to understand." End quote. Other dates he forgot lyrics and he would start and stop songs. One time he changed the lyrics accidentally to "Wise men know when it's time to go."
Oof.
Cryptic.
Just ad-libbing.
At that point, you just Milli Vanilli it and just hit the CD and let him run around.
Yeah.
Unplug his mic and that's it.
Yeah. Do like the Ashley Simpson thing. Yeah.
On a Monday.
Yeah.
A show in Baton Rouge was canceled because Elvis was in bad condition, completely worn out. Larry Geller, his hairdresser, recalls that during a concert stop in Kentucky, Elvis was in very bad shape. Dr. Nick was tending to him in the hotel room, and he was almost comatose. He was holding Elvis's head and ducking it into ice water.
Jesus.
Then the colonel burst into the room and told Larry, "The only thing that's important is that man is on stage tonight. Nothing else matters."
He just burst in and say stupid incendiary things. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't do anything really.
That's a direct quote from the movie, too, that they used.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was not doing well.
But just to keep pushing him into working. And
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Because that's how the money was coming in, and
Yeah.
Colonel was getting 50% of it.
And no one was stopping it.
And by the way, he was a reckless spender too, a degenerate gambler.
Of course, in Vegas, yeah, he was losing millions.
In one night.
Yeah.
Well,
At the craps table,
they
he would
say
do that.
in that movie that's how he signed a big contract, and that's how he got he got a lot of his debt canceled by the Vegas, like the Venetian or one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On May 6th, 1977, 3 days after the end of that leg of the tour, he shot out a bedroom window and had to be sedated.
What do you mean by shot out?
Shot it with a gun.
Oh, okay.
As we kind of alluded to earlier, he was a gun enthusiast. He even presented President Nixon with a World War II era Colt 45 when they met in 1970.
I remember that picture. He had like a badge with him.
Yeah.
Like he was deputized by Nixon to be like a drug czar.
Jesus Christ.
I gotta pee.
Yeah,
You're mixing Forrest Gump with Elvis.
Yes.
Meaning, yeah.
and we forgot to mention that Forrest Gump is the one who taught Elvis to wiggle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In the movie.
Yeah.
Which, some people say is
a great movie.
A great movie. Some people say it's cancelable and, not to be watched. But
Sorry to ruin your Black Panther party.
Well, Alex Salkin thinks that and Clear and Present Danger are the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah. No comment.
Debatable. I mean, even Patriot Games, I think, is a little better than the sequel.
Clear and Present Danger. That's my godfather.
Elvis was known for shooting TV sets. He had hundreds of them. One of the stories is that
this is my favorite thing. I brought it up already 3 times.
Robert Goulet was performing on TV.
Robert Goulet.
Elvis picked up the gun and shot the TV. And in an interview, Goulet later said, the story is about me. But he really did that to everyone. Sinatra.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, he shot a lot of TVs.
Was he
jealous?
Was nothing. Was he jealous of Robert Goulet?
It was nothing personal. He just wanted to change the channel.
Yeah.
He was that crazy.
I love that though.
And they would replace the TV.
Yeah.
So no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Next leg of the tour started in Knoxville on May 20th. Everyone's goal was just to get Elvis up on stage and get him to perform for the hour that he was slated for.
So that was the big push for every show. It's a group effort of like 30 people, the hairdressers, the producers, everyone involved just to get Elvis on stage and to get the show over with.
Keep him just awake enough that he can perform for an hour.
Kind of like Little Peep too.
Yeah, going to see someone this big though and only seeing 1 hour. It's like if you're seeing like a legend, they better be on stage for 3 hours or I'm going to be pissed.
Are you serious?
Or are you happy with 1 hour?
No.
At least an hour.
What if it's a solid 1 hour?
I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers. They did like just over an hour at SoFi Stadium. I was furious.
Oh my
Furious.
God.
When I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers in Madison in 2003, I fell asleep during the encore.
Yeah, I saw them at the Tweeter Center. After I could have saw them at Woodstock 99,
Oof.
but I left.
Yeah.
But they did less than an hour there for sure.
Yeah.
Because they ran for their lives.
Yeah.
By the way, I was really stoned at that show.
There you go.
Not at Woodstock, Madison.
Yeah.
After Ginger left the tour to be with her family, Elvis was accompanied by his backup singer, on-again, off-again girlfriend, Kathy Westmoreland. He complained to her about all sorts of things, including his place in history. Quote, "They're not going to remember me. I've never done anything lasting. I've never done a classic film." But then he would perk up and say that his mission in life was to make people happy with music. And I'll never stop until the day I die.
Well, that's Dr. Nick doing that.
In Baltimore, he took an extended hiatus from the stage to pee, later telling the audience, "You don't fool around with nature." Despite the failing health,
I gotta take a squeeze, y'all.
the Colonel made a deal for a CBS concert special. Wow. Was he up for it? That's what everyone was asking. Adding to his woes, further, Elvis became preoccupied with an upcoming tell-all book by his former bodyguards, Sonny West and his cousin Red. The book is called Elvis, What Happened? And it was being released that summer.
Harsh.
Parts of it were already released in serial form in the UK. So Elvis was like thinking everyone's talking about
These are
him.
not Memphis Mafia, or they're former? Former Memphis.
Vernon had fired them in 1976 as a cost-cutting measure.
Who gets fired in this operation?
And Sonny and Red West claimed that they wrote the book to get Elvis help.
Yeah.
Even though they were spilling salacious
That's
details,
what everyone
they
says.
really were just worried about him.
Sure.
They also got a good payday, but you know.
Yeah, exactly.
They got a new
Very
RV. They got a new RV in Tennessee.
Altruistic.
Yeah.
Elvis still enjoyed helping his friends out when he could. He had this friend, George Klein, who was indicted for fixing a radio ratings poll. So Elvis spoke to President Jimmy Carter for about 10 minutes on the phone. but Carter believed that Elvis was stoned and didn't really know what he was getting at.
Imagine that conversation.
Besides that, he was pretty sure Elvis wanted him to pardon his friend who hadn't even been convicted of anything yet.
This sounds like a Trump conversation. It'd be really good if we let this thing go.
Yeah. So when Elvis called Jimmy Carter back the next day, it was not answered.
Oh.
On June 15th, Elvis embarked on what was the 5th tour of the year. He appeared pale, swollen, exhausted. No one believed that he would be able to film the Colonel's television special the next day. The performance in Omaha was recorded, and it confirmed everyone's worst fears. His voice was filled with uncertainty, and he was unable to properly articulate or project. E-Bomb's World used to have a clip of him on stage where he was forgetting the lyrics and mumbling to the audience.
Ooh,
yeah.
Sad.
However, 2 nights later in Rapid City, Iowa, he rallied. Somehow Elvis appeared healthier, like he had lost a little weight, and he sounded a lot better. At the end of the show, Elvis sat down at the piano with guitarist Charlie Hodge holding a mic up to his face, and he belted out a searing rendition of Unchained Melody. And if you want to hear a little of that.
Let's see it.
And this is the big set piece in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was Vegas.
God speed to
Hello. Let's go.
Yeah. He sounds good.
Sounds great. Listen to this. And the feeling,
Yeah.
So that was a surprise to everyone.
Like he's giving it his all here, even though he looks horrible.
And he smiles at the end,
Yeah.
incredulous that he was able to pull off that performance.
Yeah.
He's elated. I got a good little anecdote here. In Madison, Wisconsin, on June 24th, Elvis was being driven from the airport to the hotel when he spotted 2 young men ganging up on a gas station attendant, and it was late at night. He jumped out of the limo and struck a karate pose, offering to take on the 2 bullies.
Cool.
The young guys were stunned. They couldn't believe that Elvis was in front of them in a karate pose. And of course, tempers cooled. Elvis shook their hands and posed for pictures.
Yeah.
And there's a stone marker in Madison commemorating this event.
Wow. Was he like, hey, you guys got any sisters?
His final concert took place in Indianapolis on June 26, 1977. He brought a bunch of his friends and relatives with him, and he did an 80-minute set. So it's a little longer than an hour there, Kyle.
There we go. Still wouldn't be happy.
Extra 20 for you.
Yeah.
And he brought his father out on stage. And he almost didn't want to leave the stage.
Like he felt like this is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we come to his last days.
Oh, no.
It was a hot Memphis summer. Despite showering Ginger and her family with gifts.
And not showering himself.
Including jewelry, a sports car, and offering to pay their mortgage, she refused to move into Graceland full time. Elvis and his entourage, the Memphis Mafia, were isolated from the outside world, not reading the papers or watching the news. Charlie Hodge, Billy and Joe Smith, and Dr. Nick were now his closest confidants. He liked the work of others, like his security team, Sam Thompson and Dick Grob, and his personal aide, Al Strada, but he was not particularly close to any of them. Elvis also didn't trust his stepbrothers, Ricky and David Stanley, who were the ones running a lot of the day-to-day business. So this is a crazy situation.
He trusts no one. Really.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got just a couple of people that he talks to for real.
Yeah.
Very reclusive. Sometimes he would look at the security cameras of visiting friends and send word down that he was not feeling well enough to see them. He retreated to his room, falling into his books. He loved to read. And then, of course, all his medications. He became paranoid like Howard Hughes.
But he was also not showering, which is interesting.
Did Howard Hughes shower, I wonder?
Well, he was like a disgusting mess at the end.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He was peeing in bottles.
Yeah, well, the way
and drinking.
Leonardo
Drinking
DiCaprio
like
and
a
Scorsese
fish.
depicted it. Yeah, he was drinking and just naked, not showered.
And he dreaded going to sleep. Elvis had this recurring nightmare where all his money and fans had vanished and he was all alone. Red and Sonny's book was released in July 1977 and it consumed him. He even came up with defensive retorts if audience members would heckle him. Because he was paranoid that they were reading all this bad stuff in the book.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what I'm going to say if they say this?
It's like a roast battle or something.
Yeah. He even fantasized about having the men killed.
Oh, boy.
Sinatra style. Oof. Lisa Marie arrived for a 2-week visit on July 31st. Lisa Marie, you remember, right?
Yeah, the
Of
plane.
course, yeah.
Only child.
Yeah, the plane.
Born
The plane.
9 months to the day of their marriage.
Yeah, rest in peace.
And Lisa Marie was going to stay until the tour resumed on August 16th. That was when it was scheduled to resume. And it would be starting in Portland, Maine, and would end in Memphis 12 days later. Ginger got her brother, Mike, to bring his daughter Amber around to Graceland so that the little two girls could hang out together. They were around the same age. Some mornings, Lisa Marie would wake up early and take her golf cart and run it up and down the driveway. Elvis even bought her a pony, and one day he led it into the mansion for a photo op, and it made a mess on the floor.
Must have been a wild house that of Graceland. Anything goes.
Sounds like Billy Madison
Yeah.
or Pee-wee.
Yeah. You can just run like RVs, like on ATVs in the house there.
On August 7th, they rented out Liberty Land theme park after hours and stayed till dawn. Vernon hinted that he might join Elvis on the upcoming tour, and that made his son quite happy. When Elvis wanted to go out for a motorcycle ride, he tried out a new jumpsuit, but it didn't fit. He told his cousin, "Billy, I'm just too damned fat."
Yeah, no shit.
He would eat bacon, tomatoes, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and sauerkraut.
I'm actually
and
surprised.
he would mix it all together.
That sounds good.
I'm surprised the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like someone mixed a vegetable in there. Like
There's
he's
the
like,
tomatoes, Billy.
Which one's not like the other?
Yeah, exactly.
And he would also chow down on gobs of cheeseburgers.
Oh,
Yum, yum.
Dr. Nick then put Elvis on a liquid protein diet in the days before they were scheduled to leave. And Elvis began an intermittent exercise program that included playing racquetball and riding the stationary bike for a few minutes every day.
that's so random to play racquetball.
Yeah, well, he had a racquetball court there at Graceland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why would he build a racquetball court? It just doesn't seem congruent to being in Memphis.
Why would he shoot TVs out?
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Cousin Billy and his wife Jo noticed that his mood had improved. On August 14th, 1977, the 19th anniversary of his mom's death,
Uh-oh.
Elvis had flowers delivered to her grave. Of course, that's something he did about once a week since she died.
He loved his mom.
Yeah.
Real mama's boy.
Yep. Now we come to what I call last day. Elvis woke up around 4 p.m. on August 15th, 1977. He sent for cousin Billy around 7 p.m. Elvis wanted to see the new movie about General MacArthur starring Gregory Peck. So he gave Ricky, the day-to-day guy,
Not Patton.
the job of trying to set up a screening, but was disappointed when the theater couldn't come up with an available print.
Okay.
Yeah, he had also heard that the movie wasn't as good as Patton, so he didn't care that much.
Yeah, Patton was amazing.
Then Elvis and Billy watched TV for a while. Ginger joined them for his 10:30 p.m. dentist appointment with Dr. Hoffman. Elvis was kind of annoyed because he wasn't sure if Ginger would be flying out with him or not the following night. Billy helped Elvis get into his black DEA sweatsuit and leather boots, which could not be zipped up because his ankles were so swollen. Dr. Nick stopped by for a few minutes to check on how he was doing and stuck a pair of 45s into the waistband of his sweatpants. Elvis always carried.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no joke.
And Dr. Nick is putting guns
Yep.
in his waistband?
Doctor's orders.
Wait,
Dr. Nick.
Dr. Nick is not your regular doctor. He's not your... He's weird.
Dr. Nick also borrowed hundreds of thousands of dollars from Elvis to pay off his house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Dr. Nick was just some guy around the neighborhood, basically, who was a doctor.
Yeah.
And who needed money.
Yeah.
And could give him lots of pills.
Yeah.
Dr. Feelgood.
Doctor/armorer.
Yeah. He runs a pill mill.
They could have used him on the Rust set.
That's right.
Yeah, make sure the bullets are in there for Elvis. Just in case some bad singer comes on the TV.
Yep.
So at his office, Dr. Lester Hoffman cleaned Elvis's teeth and filled 2 small cavities. Then he cleaned Ginger's teeth as well after encouragement from Elvis. He was in good spirits after the procedure, and Dr. Hoffman left him with some codeine tablets in case one of his teeth began bothering him.
Of course.
Around 12:30 a.m., they arrived back at Graceland. Elvis went upstairs without seeing anybody. He called down to road manager Joe Esposito about some last-minute tour details and conferred with bodyguard Sam Thompson about taking Lisa back to California on a late afternoon commercial flight. Sam went home to get some sleep, and Joe returned to his room at Howard Johnson's, where hairstylist Larry Geller was also staying in anticipation of their departure for the tour later that day. Larry was awakened by a call to bring over some of the new books that he had purchased so that Elvis could get a look at them right away. Again, acting like a kid.
Yeah.
He wanted to see all these new books that had been bought for him. On top of the pile was a book called Scientific Search for the Face of Jesus about the Shroud of Turin.
Oh, nice.
Elvis and Ginger were arguing as they usually did at the start of a tour. She said she would join him in no time, but couldn't fly out later that day because she had cramps.
She probably wanted nothing to do with this disgusting mess of
Yeah.
Elvis. Like, imagine a young girl like that. Like,
they had nothing in common.
What am I doing here? I don't even like this guy. He's a mess. He can't even stand up.
No.
How is this benefiting me in any way?
Well, maybe money later on.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, and he was giving her a lot of gifts then.
Yeah.
But still, I'm not sure that was her motive. I think she was just confused.
But was she like a well-known actress?
No. Not at
she
all.
was kind of a middling actress.
Yeah.
And she thought maybe this would help her career. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Eventually, Elvis calmed down, and they even started talking about marriage again.
What?
Possibly making an announcement at the end of the tour.
Well, the mafia was like, she wants the money. Maybe she does not want a prenup, and she wants the possibility. She knows he's on the way out. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean
This could be a payday.
Yeah.
Around 2:15 a.m., Elvis called Dr. Nick to let him know that one of his teeth was bothering him, and he needed some dilaudid.
Dilaudid. That's some harsh shit.
Yeah.
That's like the fentanyl of its day.
Isn't that for cancer patients?
I know people still take that stuff.
I think Jason Robards takes that in the movie Magnolia, the Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
God. Yeah, that's for you're dying.
Yeah.
And you're in hospice, and you just need to.
That's some harsh shit.
The pain to go.
Or
away.
you're just from the greater Boston area.
Yeah.
And you just need some dilaudid.
I needed something to get me to Tuesday.
Who's got the dilaudid?
Yeah, my cousin's going to give me another prescription on Tuesday. Just to, hang me over.
So Dr. Nick prescribed 6 tablets, and Elvis had Ricky Stanley pick up the prescription at the Baptist Memorial's all-night pharmacy.
I have Ricky grab the dilaudid.
Around 4 a.m., Elvis called Billy and Joe Smith to see if they wanted to play a little racquetball. Even though their sleep was interrupted, they said, sure.
Oh, imagine just having some godlike character just call you at all hours of the night like this.
Yeah.
That would be, I couldn't live like that.
They threw on some clothes and walked over from the guest house. It had been raining on and off all evening, and it started up again as the 4 of them walked out to the racquetball building, which, besides a court, housed exercise equipment, a pinball machine, and a piano. After Billy complained about the rain, Elvis said, I'll take care of it. And he held his hands up in the air, and the rain stopped. See,
Okay.
I told you, he
Speaking
declared.
of godlike character.
Yeah.
Ginger and Joe were playing for a little while before the guys finally took over. But Elvis quickly tired himself out, and soon the game degenerated into silly dodgeball, with Elvis trying to hit Billy with every shot. He accidentally hit himself on the shin with his own racket and quit. Elvis lifted up his pant leg to reveal a welt, and Billy joked that if it ain't bleeding, it ain't hurting. And they all laughed.
Doesn't take much to get these guys going. Really.
Yeah.
I don't know what sense of humor they have, but it's weird.
And then Elvis threw his racket at him. Afterwards, Elvis sat at the piano in the lounge area and fooled around with a few numbers, ending with Willie Nelson's Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain.
He fooled around with a few numbers. They were mostly 13 and 14, though.
Hey-o.
Hey.
Hello.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, below 18.
Back to the mansion, Billy helped Elvis wash and dry his hair while Elvis was eyeing the new books that Larry had brought over for him. He declared that this was going to be the best tour yet and repeated it like a mantra. Billy left at the same time Ricky Stanley arrived with the first of 3 packets of prescription drugs, dubbed attack packs.
So this is not even like the stuff that Dr. Nick was giving before for the tea stuff. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. There's like way more to come.
Oh,
So he was just like fucked up 24/7.
Kyle, do you want to take this list here?
Oof.
They consisted of
Seconal, Placidil, Valmid, Tuinal, Demerol, and some other depressants and placebos, which usually helped him get several hours of sleep at a time.
Yikes.
That's not real sleep though. That's not like REM sleep. That's just like
No.
you're passed out.
Yeah, that is
You're just
barely
knocked-
above death.
You're knocked out.
Yeah.
It's Michael Jackson sleep.
It is. It's not real sleep.
Elvis remained awake a couple hours later when Ricky brought him his second attack pack. But when he called down for the third, Ricky had disappeared, even though he was supposed to be on duty until noon. His private nurse, Tish Henley, had already gone to work, so Elvis had his Aunt Delta call her at Dr. Nick's office and made arrangements for the third package to be delivered, which was 2 Valmids and a Placidil placebo.
Jesus.
When his Aunt Delta arrived with the medication, Elvis informed her that he was planning to get up around 7 p.m. A little while later, he told Ginger that he was going into the bathroom to read. Ginger woke up around 1:30 p.m. and proceeded to call her mom, who asked her how Elvis was doing. Ginger told her that she didn't know because he had not returned to bed and that she better go and check on him. Ginger washed up and put on some makeup in her own separate bathroom. As you do, right, when you're worried about someone.
Yeah, put your makeup on first.
Then she knocked on Elvis's bathroom door. After there was no answer, she pushed on it and found him lying on the floor, his gold pajama bottoms down around his ankles, his face buried in a pool of vomit on the thick shag carpet.
Ooh.
Ass in the air.
Okay.
Face down, ass up.
Panicked, Ginger called downstairs and asked to speak to someone on duty, and the maid put Al Strada on the line. She told him there was something wrong and he better come upstairs. Al was bending over Elvis when Joe Esposito burst in. These are all Memphis Mafia guys.
Okay.
They managed to turn the body over, and Joe tried to administer CPR.
These guys don't know real CPR.
No.
And he's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
Within a short period of time, the bedroom filled with people, including Dad Vernon, who cried out, "Oh God, son, please don't die." Despite Joe's best efforts to resuscitate him, it became clear to everybody that Elvis was gone. His face was swollen and purple, his discolored tongue sticking out of his mouth, and his eyeballs blood red.
It's like when an animal dies or something. It's very sad.
Lisa Marie arrived on the scene and asked, "What's wrong with my daddy?" as Ginger closed the bathroom door. Lisa tried to run inside, but it was locked.
Man.
The room was filled with wails and screams. 2 firemen EMTs arrived with an ambulance. They got to the hospital around 2:55 p.m., 22 minutes after the initial call. At 3:30 p.m., Elvis was pronounced dead. Dr. Nick walked into the waiting room and told everybody, "It's all over. He's gone."
And it's my fault.
Yeah, jeez. Dr. Nick has declared Elvis has left the building. What will become of his estate and family lineage? Tune in next week when we continue with the story of Elvis.
Thank you very much.